This is your help video for the Vaughan Williams 5 variants of dies in Lazarus. I'm going to be going over the second half of variation 3. Okay, so somewhere just a little bit before square P until square the variation 4 starts. Okay, first things first, let's look at the key signature. Right around square P, you have 4 flats written, but really we're only going to observe the first 3 of them, the B flat, E flat, and A flat. As you'll notice in this section, almost all of the D flats have been canceled out and changed back to D natural, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 at the very end of this section of this help video. And we'll mark those as we get there. So what I want you to do is with the B flats, E flats, and A flats, I want you to go through your passage with your pencil and mark your half steps, okay? Now, violins. You can zoom in and see this. You will see that across the 4 strings, you will have low first finger, you will have low second finger, and your third finger will be staying put to where a third finger normally is. So when you pull back for first finger and you pull back for second finger, make sure that your third finger isn't affected. Okay? When you're up in second or third position, you will have a couple finger patterns where you will have a low 2 next to a first finger, or you'll have a stretch for third or fourth, okay? So it's important that you go ahead and mark these half steps where they occur so that your brain doesn't have to think about it while it's on the fly, okay? Now violas, you have a slightly different pattern here, okay? I'm not going to be talking about your A string notes because that doesn't apply here, but on your lower 3 strings, you will have a low second finger. On the G and D strings, you'll have a low first finger. And same thing, just like violins, your third finger is unaffected. Okay, so make sure, same thing, when you pull back for low 1, when you pull back for low 2, don't move third finger. Okay, you do have a low fourth finger at spots, or if you're up in third position like you will be, you're going to have a low 2, like on the G string when you go for your D flats, when you have your 1 or 2, and on the D string when you have your A flat. Okay, it'll be right next door. So again, mark those half steps where they occur so your brain has one less thing that it has to think about on the fly while you're playing. Okay? So while you have those pencils out, let's go ahead and mark those position works. So violin 1, let's start with you. Both divisies, you are going to be in second position, starting the pickups to square P until measure 243. Okay? Top divisi, you'll be in second position until the last 2 notes of 250. Bottom divisi, you'll be in second position until the last note of 250. So top, last 2 notes, bottom, last note of 250 is where you'll be switching back, okay? Both divises, top and bottom, you'll be in third position, measure 260. And then you're running 8th notes, which would be measures 244 until 250, you'll be in first position. All right? Violin 2, you guys lucked out. You'll be in first position whole time. Lucky ducks. Violas, don't mind her. You will be in third position, the pickups to 244, and top divisi, you'll stay up there until measure 258. Bottom divisi, you'll be in third position until the last note of 250. Okay? Go ahead, you're going to circle all the D flats in measures 258 to 262. Okay, you guys have them at different spots, but look through those measures, 258 to 262. Find your D flats and circle them. This is where your only ones will occur. All the other ones have been changed to D natural. Now, let's talk about your melodic sections. Okay, where you have the long bows, the slower notes, so not the 8th notes, you are going to need to use full bows, but not so much bow that you run out at the end of the measure. You need to make sure that you save at the front half of the measure so you have enough power for the last part of the measure, okay? You'll also need to make sure that you keep your bow arm up, so you're playing from above the string. And that when you're up in position, that you keep your left elbow tucked in front of your belly button so that your fingers can reach around and be playing from above the string and not like a sandwich finger, okay? You'll have more power on the tips of your fingers, so it's important to make sure your belly button is covered by that elbow, okay? And that you are around enough that you can actually reach those notes when you're up in second or third position, okay? Last thing to talk about is a group. Okay, these sections of running eighth notes, especially in a weird key signature like we have, can be tricky. What we're going to do for practice purposes, we are going to eliminate the slurs for a moment, okay? And we are going to build some muscle memory by switching up the rhythms and giving our brain and our fingers a chance to communicate and teach each other what it needs to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a pattern of long, long, and then short, long, maybe a couple short, long, and go from there. And it's going to give your fingers a chance to get used to playing the notes fast and in order, but also have a long note for your brain to catch up and start looking ahead so that you're not looking completely note to note to note and then losing track of where you are. Okay, so let's go ahead and break into groups and we'll see you in a minute. Alright, so here are the helpful chunks for Violin 1. We're going to start with the melodic portions, so not the running eighth notes. We're going to start the pickups to square P. Now the top and bottom for this melodic chunk, mostly the same. The only difference are those pickup notes, okay, and then where you shift back for where the eighth notes start, but we're going to stop right before we get there, okay? So here's the top notes to pickups to square P, okay? Remember, we are starting in second position here, so first finger goes on C natural. 1 and 2. Shifted back to first position for that last note, the F. All right, let's do the bottom notes. Pretty much the same thing, just different pickup notes into it. Okay, same thing. Starting first finger on C, which is second position on the A string. 1, 2. Back to first position with that last F. Okay? Let's skip those eighth notes. Look at the bottom, page 6. Let's look at the last 3 measures. So it'd be the 3 measures before Q. Okay, the last 3 measures of page 5. Same thing. We are in second position here. Okay? Let's just start right on the half notes and not worry about the pickup notes into that. So let's do the top notes first. You're going to start on fourth finger, F natural. So same thing, find your first finger C in C, second position. Your F will be your fourth finger. Okay? Top notes. 1, ready, go. First finger on the C natural, on the A, fourth finger F. Okay, here we go. 3 before Q. 1, bottom note, sorry. 1, ready, go. both top and bottom divisi, make sure that you are counting in your head on that last note, that it isn't accidentally a half note, that it's only 1 and 2 rest. All right, good job. All right, violin ones, now it's time to look at your running 8th note passage. Remember, like we spoke about before, we're going to eliminate the slur for practice purposes, okay? And we're going to mess around with the rhythms a little bit to train your fingers to get faster and faster and more comfortable, but still have some long notes in there to give your brain time to catch up and look ahead, okay? So, we are looking at measures 244. We're going to do the top divisi first. Bottom notes, you may as well shadow bow along. The same rhythm, same concept, but different pitches, okay? All right, our first one is going to be long, short, all the way through, okay? No slurs, just pitches. Top notes, starting at 244. Ready, go. We're going to flip it and do short, long, okay? Same people, same spot. Ready, go. Don't forget we have that little shift a second at the end. All right, let's do short, long, okay? Ready, go. Last time we're going to do all the notes short except for the last note of the measure. So 5 shorts, then 1 long. Okay? Here we go. Same people. Ready, go. Let's try and do all short this time. That's our last pattern. All short, still no slur. Ready, go. Okay? It's all right if it's not exactly perfect every single note. Just keep on pushing forward. Don't go backwards. Train your fingers to just keep pushing forward. So you can always hit pause, rewind, try one of the previous patterns again until you get more and more comfortable. Okay, the last step would then be to put the slur in and just play it exactly as written. So let's give it a shot. Okay? 244, top notes. Ready, go. Hopefully I did all right. Let's do the bottom people now, okay? Top notes, you can shadow bow along, that way you're still practicing your spots, but with your own pitches. Okay, so bottom notes, this is measure 244, okay? We are going to go back to long, short. Here we go. Bottom divisi, measure 244. Ready, go. and that last note shifts back up to second position. Okay? Now we'll go to short, long, short, long. Measure 244. Ready? Go. Now let's do two shorts and a long. Short, short, long, short, short, long. Same people. Ready? Go. Now we have all the notes short, and the last note of every measure is going to be long. So 5 shorts and 1 long. Okay? Here we go. Ready? And... Okay? Last one with all the notes short but no slur. Let's give it a shot. See how it goes. Ready? And... Alright? Last one with the slur. Give it a shot. Might not be perfect yet, but we're working towards it. Here we go. 1 in, 2 in, ready, in, go, in. All right, we will come back once we put all of our spots together, all the notes together, melodic and eighth notes for top notes, and then all the notes melodic and eighth notes bottom to BC. See you in a minute. All right, so violin 1, top DBC. This will be your part from the pickup notes to square P all the way until variation 4. Okay, let's give it a shot. Remember, even if you make a mistake, keep going. Don't stop and teach yourself the habit of going back. Keep going for now. Okay? All right, remember we are starting in second position. So first finger on C natural on the A string, okay? 1 and 2. Violin 1, bottom to BC. We're now going to go straight through your part from pickups to square P until variation 4. We are still in second position, starting in second position, which means your first finger will be on C, on the A string, okay? Here we go. 1, 2. and count it carefully. Alright, second violins, let's start with your melodic chunk, okay? This would be from square P until the end of that line, so to the end of measure 243, okay? Let's look at the top notes first, starting at square P. Remember, we have our 4 flats, but we are in first position, lucky ducks. Here we go. Top notes, square P. 1, ready, go. And that's it for there, okay? Let's look at your bottom notes, so your bottom people at square P. Here we go. 1, ready, go. We have those running eighth notes. We're going to come back to those in just a minute. Look now, 3 before Q. Okay, we're going to do from there until variation 4. That'll be our last chunk. There's a couple eighth notes in there, but we can handle those as they get there. Okay. Also keep in mind, towards the end of this chunk, we have our first and only D flats. So make sure that you previously circled those and are ready for them where they show up. Okay, we're starting 3 before square Q. Let's start with the top DBC notes. Okay? Here we go, starting right there on that D, 3 before Q. 1, ready, go. Okay, let's do the bottom notes. Bottom notes, 3 before Q. Same idea, just different pitches. 1, ready, go. Now let's look at our eighth notes, okay? This would be measures 244 until measures 250, end of measure 250, okay? Remember we talked about how we were going to take out the slurs and retrain our fingers to learn how to play faster, but have spots in the measure that our brain can catch up and be able to look ahead, okay? So we're first off going to change our rhythm to long, short, okay? I don't believe our DVC notes don't matter, so we're going to do all second violins at the same time. At 244, long, short. Here we go. Ready, go. Now we're going to flip it and do short, long. Ready, go. pattern will be short, short, long, short, short, long. 244. Ready, go. Will be the first 5 notes of the measure will be short, and just the last note of every measure will be long to give our brain a chance to catch up and look ahead for a second. Okay? 244. 5 shorts, 1 long. Ready, and. Not so bad? Okay, last one, exactly as it's written, but without the slur. All just straight 8th notes. Okay, 244. 1 and 2 and ready and go in. Okay, put the slur in. It's alright if it's not perfect yet. Hit pause, hit rewind, go back to whichever variation you're still on. You can always skip around as you need to and as it gets easier and more comfortable. Okay, but for now, let's give it a shot. Exactly as written with the slur, starting at measure 244. 1 and 2 and ready and. And we will be back in just 1 minute putting the whole thing together for violin 2. Okay, violin 2, we are going to do the entire passage of the 3rd variation, second half of the 3rd variation, okay? We are going to start with pickups to 2 before square P. That way we have our lead in and all of that, okay? Let's do the top notes first. Bottom notes, you're welcome to shadow go along. It's mostly the same, it can't hurt, okay? Here we go. Pickups to 2 before P. 1 and 2 and. Same thing, pickups to 2 before square P. All right, here we go. 1 and 2 and. sure that last note, you are counting carefully. It is not a full half note. Good luck. Hi, violas. We are going to look at your sections now, okay? We have the melodic parts, which really aren't that tricky or that crazy for you guys. And then we have two chunks, really, of the running eighth notes. Okay, so let's get the melodic part out of the way, the slower notes. We have the 3 measures before P. We have the pickups to measure 244, where it says cantabile, singingly. And then we have a chunk that's kind of traded back and forth between long and short, starting at square Q, and then going all the way to variation 4. Okay, so let's look at those first couple measures of 3 before P. Okay, nothing terribly tricky. 1 and 2 and 3 is your counting. Here we go. 1, ready, go. And then we have that rest. And I want you to literally think rest on that. Okay, it's important to count our rests. Even more important than counting our notes. Let's look ahead to the next spot. This is pickups to 244. Okay, same idea. Remember, we are in 3rd position here. We are bringing our elbow in front of our belly button and our bow arm up a little higher so that we are going for that big viola sound, okay? Really playing into the string. We don't get the melody very often. So when you have it, flaunt it. Here we go. 1 and 2 in. Have shifted on that last note back down to 1st position for B flat. Okay, but besides for that, same thing there. Okay, let's skip ahead to the next spot. This would be after Q, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 measures. Okay, you have a divisi here, so we have a top notes and we have bottom notes, pretty much the same rhythm, but different spots in here where we have our D flats. Please make sure those are circled. These are the only spots in this section that you actually have a D flat, so it's important that you play it. All right, let's do the top divisi parts. This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 after square Q. Okay, bottom parts, feel free to shout or go along. The rhythm's the same, just pitches might be a little different. Here we go. 1, ready, go. Let's do bottom divisi. Same spot, 5 after Q. You're starting right there on your D flat, okay? Half step away from C, 3rd finger. 1, ready, go. Let's look at the eighth notes, okay? So we have 2 spots of eighth notes. We'll look at them separately. We are going to take out the slurs, like we've discussed before, and then you guys, your very first note of P is after a rest. So for practice purposes, because this makes it kind of tricky, we are going to pretend that rest is an extra F, because the first note we actually played is an F. So we're just going to play 2 Fs there. Eventually we're going to take away that first F and put our rest back in. But for practice purposes, we're going to just double that first note so we get the hang of our rhythms and our brain gets the training it needs. Okay? We are going to start out with the long, short, all the way through the first 8th note section. This is starting right at square P. Okay? Here we go. 4 flats, but all of our D flats are D natural, so 4 flats written, 3 flats observed. Here we go. Long, short, long, short. Ready? And. Shift up the 3rd position at the end there, which is the beginning of our slow section, so if you want to loop that into this chunk, that is fine to do. Let's switch it now. Let's do short, long, okay? Again, still with the extra F. Short, long, short, long. Next rhythm, let's do short, short, long, still with an extra F. Here we go, ready, and. Next one would be all the notes of the measure except for the last one are going to be short, and the last note of every measure is going to be long. That's going to give our brain time to catch up with our fingers and have time to look ahead at what's coming next. Okay, so 5 short, 1 long, still with an extra F. Okay? Ready, and. In terms of rhythm, still no slur, and let's put that rest back in. So we're going to think that first F that we had been playing, and think it, and that's our rest now. Okay? Here we go. As written, without the slur. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. Last step would be to put that slur back in. Okay? Here we go. Still think the rest. It's important to count your rests. 1 and 2 and 3 and rest. Now we will be back in just a minute to look at the next 8th note chunk. All right, Violas, so you have one more eighth note chunk. I'm not going to go through the whole practice sequence for you, but I recommend doing the exact same steps that you did with the previous eighth notes if it's giving you a hard time of bringing it long, short, and then short, long, short, short, long. You know the drill, okay? So top divisi, this would be 1, 2, 3 before Q. Let's go ahead and go through yours. Remember, top divisi, you are still in third position here, okay? And how it lays out, it starts on an up, okay? It's gonna make it end up better for practice purposes at the end, okay? Here we go. 3 before Q, top notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, and there you would shift back down to your first position like we talked about earlier. Okay, bottom notes, your turn. This would be same thing, 3 before Q. Let's start on an up. Okay, here we go. Oh, and you're in first position here, a little different, okay? 1 and 2 and 3 and. Okay, Violas, it is time to put it all together. We'll start with the top divisi, starting of 3 measures before square P, all the way until variation 4. Bottom notes, you can go ahead and shadow bow along, and then we'll go back and we will do the bottom divisi from 3 before P all the way until variation 4. Okay? Here we go, starting on up-oh. Top notes, 3 before P. 1, 2, go. sure that last note is very short and very quiet.